Welcome to the Wingmen Show. We float like butterflies and sting like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingmen Show. My name is Drew Brown. My wingman, the guy who watches my six, my friend, my pal, the Honorable Dr. Paul Thompson. Dr. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. It's a great day. I feel good. I'm moving. I'm alive, and I'm ready to talk to you.
Yeah, and you're going to take some fresh spirulina we just ordered, frozen spirulina. We are health people, aren't we?
Yeah. My package just came yesterday. It was freeze-dried with a refrigerated box. And,
I'm real happy about that.
Yeah, I put it in the freezer. I haven't had it yet. I'll do it after we do the show.
Well, very cool. How about those jets? Man, that's a Mirage behind you. You want to tell me a little something about that Mirage?
Yeah, that's a Mirage F-1 made by Dassault Aviation, a French company. Came out in 1973. They used it until about 2014. It's a combination fighter, attack, interceptor, reconnaissance airplane that was pretty widely used. They sold them to South Africa, Spain, Greece, Kuwait, Libya, Morocco, and Qatar, where they're having the World Cup.
If you're watching YouTube, you can watch Dr. Paul and I. And if you are watching YouTube, why don't you hit that like button? Dr. Paul says, don't smash it, just tap it lightly and go ahead and leave us a comment on YouTube. That would be great. And for all you frequent flyers out there who listen to us all the time, welcome. We really appreciate you. Any new listeners, write us a little review on Apple Podcasts if you got a chance. If you are watching YouTube right now, you can see behind me is a badass A-10 Warthog. Now, this is an Air Force jet, and I'm usually Navy jet down, but this Air Force jet, they call the tank killer. It will cut a tank in half. Did you know that, Dr. Paul?
I'd heard that. What does it carry?
Well, this is the deal. I'm going to show it to you on the picture, but this thing carries a 7-barrel gun. It's an Avenger. It measures 9 feet long. It fires 30 mics. Those are big ass armor piercing shells, and they can cut a tank in half. The Gatling gun can actually shoot them at 3,900 rounds a minute. It represents about 16% of the whole weight of the airplane. If you take the gun out, it'll tip up, so they have to support the tail. But The thing about this gun, I'll never forget, an A-10 driver told me, he says, if you hold it for more than seconds, it'll melt.
Right.
You have to give it very short bursts. That's the only way you can shoot this gun. It's a badass jet.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I've seen him in action a couple of times. Very interesting. The sound of the engines is kind of like it's almost like an S3, kind of like a
that
cleaner.
winding up. Yeah.
Like a vacuum cleaner. You know?
Yes. That's why they call them Hoovers. But I flew with A-10s, and they're not that fast, but they don't need to be. They're very maneuverable, and they will cut a tank in half. That's all I can say. What kind of cool shirt do you have on?
I got a shirt I got off the internet. It says, don't ask me to act my age. I can't act my age because I've never been this old before. I thought it was cool. I put my wife and said, what are you wearing that for? I said, it was something. It was on the internet. It was $6. Pretty comfortable.
No, I'm going to show it. I'm showing it right now, actually. I'll show it. I've never been this old before. How do you expect me to act my age? That's crazy. Okay, you talked about Qatar. World Cup mania, baby. It is rocking and rolling. And what I wanted to talk about the World Cup was something important. You and I have flown around the world, God bless it. We have great jobs, great super jobs. And I've been in different countries as the World Cup is being played. And I noticed something. No matter what country I'm in, the entire country gets together for this soccer game, or as they call it, football. And they are together like you've never seen before. And I've been in Italy, I've been in France, and I've been there when they've won and when they've lost. And I mean, the whole town shuts down. Either they're happy or they're crying. But the next day, that town is all about the World Cup. It's an amazing, amazing thing to watch an entire country get together. Matter of fact, the whole continent of Africa was rooting for Morocco. So whole continents even get together. I truly believe that shows that the human the human soul wants to have friends and wants to have common people. They just need a common enemy, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I've remember some years ago, but I remember flying during one of the World Cup periods, and I covered about 5 countries in 12 days or so. And in each of the countries, when the World Cup was going on, that was it. All the television stations, and everybody was looking at that, whether it was in a restaurant or you're walking by a coffee shop or whatever. It was consistent. I didn't see anybody ever acting crazy, but they were very, very, very passionate and totally focused on it.
Did you notice that outside the restaurants, chairs would just be lined up and the TV would be in the front window of the restaurant and
Yes.
people would be watching in the street?
Yes, I did.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, the World Cup is now, and I know we can all come together. A little bad news, and we don't do much bad news around here, but it's important. There's been a couple of suicides, I'm sorry to say, lately. One was Ellen DeGeneres' DJ. His name was Twitch. What really bothered me about that is that he used TikTok, Instagram, all these little social things, and they showed him so happy with his family, doing dances. He had a beautiful looking family. Anyway, he took his life. And the reason I'm telling you that is because we have a newsletter, and you can get that at wingmenshow.com. And in our newsletter, we're now going to start printing 988. That is the crisis and suicide hotline. Anybody out there, if you know somebody who needs that, it's 988. It is the new suicide and crisis hotline. Please, anybody, if you know somebody, give them a call. Give them a call. What do you think about this? This is terrible, Dr. Paul. And matter of fact, the suicides have gone up big time in young people.
Yes. Yeah, young people. And when I say young, I gotta say younger people. I mean, I'd say 50 and under. Maybe, and if you want to look at the opioid crisis, maybe you have to extend that. But there's they call these deaths of despair, particularly in the middle of the country. And there's been an uptick. To be honest with you, the COVID-19 pandemic just piled on what was already pre-existing. It made things a lot worse.
Well, I think what it's doing is it's highlighting the big problem that you and I have talked about, and something that I guess we need to tackle. That's mental health.
Yes.
Mental health is the cause of most of these big shootings, most of this suicide, most of the things that are really ultimately wrong are from mental health. And there is a way to fix all that. So hopefully the Wingman Show will bring you some positive news. Like, I'm really not that blind, Dr. Paul. I thought I was blind because I was driving at night, and all of a sudden I can't see anymore. These cars are coming at me. They look like their lights are times 10,000. And
Right.
then you brought it to my attention. It's amazing. You brought it to my attention that General Motors, I believe it is, they recalled 1,000 cars.
This is so far.
Because the lights are too bright. What happens is on these cars, the daylights are bright because they have to shine during the day. Well, when the night lights come on, the daylights don't go off. And so they're double brightness. And I really thought it was me. And I am so happy that you told me it's not me, it's the lights. General Motors, 825,000 vehicles have to go back.
Yeah. And as far as that goes, I mean, my problem was probably separate from that. I thought it was just my problem with my eyes, period. Because this is all popped up in the last, I'd say, 36 months or so. And it's all the time. They're just too light. And most of the stuff is not regulated. So everybody's putting out like 10 billion candle power. So I have to kind of, look away. And what I started doing, I've got some, reading glasses. So I put them on. They're sunglasses. They're progressive lenses. Yeah, polarized. So to put the sunglasses on at night, it works. I can see about 99%, but it cuts out about 95% of the glare. And particularly around here, the markings on the roads are terrible. And these glasses help. So I think everybody needs some kind of glasses. Because my son, who's considerably younger, he has difficulty too. And one of his professors said, "It's not you; it's unregulated. They're putting out way too much light. So everybody's having problems. It's not just you." And probably people listening to this now, realize it's not just you; it's everybody.
Yeah, too many lumens in the air.
Right.
Well, Dr. Paul, we're sponsored by Magic Mind, that great stuff that actually you do more and you stress less. And I'm really happy that I'm taking it. We're back on it. There's a new 4.0.
Yeah, we got the 4.0 now.
Tell me about the 4.0, Doc.
Well, the 4.0, it looks like it's got like 3 or 4 more ingredients than what the 3.0 had. Taste is a little bit different. Taste is actually a lot easier.
A lot better.
A lot better, yeah. A lot better taste. And had mine, about 45 minutes ago. It tastes real good. Maybe it's the matcha.
Well, now it gives you 7 hours versus 5 hours of more energy and less stress. That's one of the things. And another thing is we used to have to shake it up a little bit pretty good. And now you don't have to shake it as much. Anyway, Magic Mind, I'll tell you something. I really love taking it. And I love taking it only because I'm starting to do more. And, where we are in life, the more you get done, the better off you are. And as you get older, the little laziness clock kicks in. And this thing has been fighting that lazy clock.
Yeah, it's worked, on an impromptu, finished cleaning up the garage yesterday, which needed it for probably about 7 months. And did the last half of it in about an hour. It looks very acceptable now from a disaster. I don't know if the Magic Mind definitely helped.
Well, we're taking Magic. I worked out earlier today. You work out all the time. Katrina and I work out together. Thank God I have a partner to work out with. But we work out pretty hard. You are amazing. How about these two guys in China? This is amazing. They want to run the entire Great Wall of China. Now, to just tell you how long this is, they would have to run a marathon every day for 6 months in order to complete this task. And they are going to do it. And do you know why they really want to do it? Because 35 years ago, their dad did it. What about that kind of exercise? What about that stamina?
Yeah, I wonder, I didn't say how old are they? But that's a marathon, average marathon is 26.2 miles.
That's correct.
So if they did that for 180 days, roughly half a year, that's going to be close to, that's going to be a little over about 5,000 miles. Thereabouts. So good luck.
I can't even think about running a marathon.
Yeah, I think the longest I've ever run, I think I did 8.5 miles one time, see if I could do it, and that was enough.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was bored.
Well, I played basketball all my life for college. It sent me to college. I played for the Globetrotters, only one day, but at least I played. I made the team. Okay. But I had to run my whole life. And for some reason, the day I had to stop running, I stopped running.
Yeah, I put running the long, slow distance doesn't do a lot for me. I found when I was in competitive activities, that didn't really help. Quick bursts of energy work better for me. I think little short sprints, a series of short sprints, get your heart rate up moving, helps if you're going to do anything with fast muscle twitch or boxing or martial arts, or that helps me more than just like running for 45 hours, 4 or 5 hours. If you look physically, honestly, who are the most physically impressive people, the long distance runners or the sprinters? That's an easy answer.
Who knows?
I mean, one looks like death warmed over, the others are tremendous, and they're only running,
Yeah, but which one will live longer? Because that's the ultimate goal, life. The goal is a long, healthy, and happy life.
Right. It could be the same, or, it depends. Because I
think the person with less fat on them actually lives longer. The person with a better heart lives longer.
Yes.
A person who lives more healthy actually lives longer, I think.
Right.
Well, guess who's not going to have to run very much anymore? People in Washington, D.C. Because of this COVID pandemic, guess what? Buses, transportation, city transportation in Washington, D.C. is now free. Okay. Free transportation in Washington, D.C. on the buses. And they're doing that because the roads are so crowded. They cannot control all these cars in the city anymore. And they figured if they can get more people using public transportation, they'll have an answer to some of their major traffic problems in Washington, D.C., like they have in Atlanta and New York and San Francisco and L.A. I mean, it's all over, but in D.C., it's real bad. It's a very small town. I know we've been there many times.
Yeah, the traffic is thick there just about all the time, 24/7. I know in LA during the height of the pandemic, I think Los Angeles had free bus fare. I think they charge now, but they charge at a reduced rate. I guess to get people off the streets, at least get cars off the streets, that might help with your pollution to some extent, but to make things go.
Let's talk a little finance here. First of all, how much money did you lose in crypto, which is amazing? This crypto guy, he's in jail now, actually. Yeah. And his name is Sam Bankman-Fried. Mm-hmm. He lost $16 billion of other people's money in crypto. And you and I have done a show on crypto, and the whole show was about we don't understand crypto. So why you would put your money in something that you don't understand and you can't explain is way beyond me. Yeah. Beyond me.
Well, I might have lost a couple bucks. I did invest in an exchange traded fund that was in Bitcoin, and it was like $300 or something like that. And it went up to like about $6,000. I don't know why, but it's down now. A bit. It's still. I do not understand. I just did it. It was simple. But no, I didn't lose any billions of dollars. I might have lost a couple of hundred or so.
I think you have your billions in a safe in your house.
Yeah, I just can't find the safe. That's the problem.
Well, talking about finance, this brought me to this subject: credit cards. Your credit, first of all. Your credit is one of the most important things you'll ever have in America and in a capitalistic society because it gives you the ability to maneuver. So I opened up a business, believe it or not, Cold Stone Creamery in the Virgin Islands in St. Thomas, and I opened it up on credit cards. Okay. So let me give you the beginning of this. The reason I even thought about this is because I heard Spike Lee did his first movie on credit cards.
Right.
And I met Spike Lee, and I said, if Spike Lee can do it, I can do it. So I actually started borrowing on credit cards, cash, to finance my company. Mm-hmm. And what happens is every time I made a little bit of money, I paid down the big finance charge credit cards, the ones who charged me the most percentage. And I took a loan out from a card who paid a little bit less percentage and paid the big one off. And I kept doing it and doing it and doing it until I owed nothing. So I actually used the credit card system very well. But here's the point, Dr. Paul. When I started, I had good credit. You can't have shitty credit and start and do what I just did. They will not give you any money.
Right.
The best thing you can do, and this is what I do, is use your credit cards just like cash. I do not like the feeling of owing anybody. So I use American Express, to be honest with you, because I pay it off every month. And the only reason I have a USAA Visa or Capital One Visa or MasterCard is some places don't accept American Express.
Right.
But when I pay back these credit cards, it says it in my credit card. I check off a box. It takes it right out of my bank. Right. So I have to be careful of what I have, what I spend. But those credit cards are extremely useful for me only because I have good credit. Yeah. I don't have 850 yet, and I want to know why. I think mine's like 837, and I'm really pissed off that I can't get those 13 extra points. Yeah. What do you think about credit cards, Doc? Because it's caused a lot of young people a lot of problems in this country.
Yeah, I remember. Let's see, I had a summer job one year, and I was still in school, and just for the heck of it, I got a credit card. In fact, it was the Diners Club, and I said, "This is great." And I had the job, and then the job went away when summer went away. But I kept charging little stuff here and there. I was taking people out. Then realizing, it's like this was before Discover Card. Then I discovered I couldn't pay the bill, and yet you realize, oh, this is not a game, and it wasn't that much, and I worked it out. But I'm like all of a sudden, like, this is great. because I'm watching the commercials and all this other stuff and taking friends out. And then I'm getting this thing in the mail. It's like, oh, shoot, I got to pay it. But the job stopped a month ago. Oh, shoot. So anyway, you can get a little too happy with it. I've heard of people, I'm not sure if this is 100% right, but didn't Sylvester Stallone in Making Rocky, didn't he use credit cards? I think so.
I'm not sure. I just know Sylvester Stallone has my daddy's ring, the Muhammad Ali championship ring, because daddy hocked it, I'm sorry to say, and Sylvester Stallone bought it. And I've tried to get in contact with him to buy it back. That's like our Super Bowl ring of my family, my dad's Muhammad Ali championship ring. But that's all I know about Sylvester Stallone.
Well,
if you can hear it, hey, Sly, if you can hear this, can you give Bundini Brown's son back his ring, please? I'll pay for it. Thank you, Brocky.
Yes. Or a cameo in the next Creed movie would help.
No, I want my ring, and then I'll do a cameo.
Okay, there you go.
You know what it's time for, Doc?
What's that?
It's time for the Wingmen'Show PSA. This is from the 11 Facts in Life. Be honest, open-minded, and willing to change. In order to do something in life, you must be honest, open-minded, and willing to change. And great things will come. This has been a Wingmen PSA. That's one of the problems we have, Dr. Paul. Most people are not honest, but the worst person they're not honest to is themselves.
Yeah, get used to yourself because you're going to be by yourself for a long time. Eventually you got to deal with the person in the mirror and not fantasize. Let's get back to this magic mind thing just for a second, because it has an ingredient called Matcha. Is that how you say it? Yeah,
Matcha Green Tea. This Matcha Green Tea is an excellent antioxidant. Did you know that? It boosts energy. It has a natural L-theanine that reduces stress and anxiety. And did you know that has 130 times more antioxidants than regular green tea?
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be the strongest green tea. And I've looked at it and they say, you probably don't need to do more than 2 cups a day. It's that strong. I've got a matcha tea also. And I'll do like maybe 1 at night. That's all. But the Magic Mind's got this matcha in it, which is great.
Yes, that's the point. And this is one of the things that help you actually lessen your stress. First of all, this is real important about Magic Mind. You got to be a good person. You can't be an a-hole taking Magic Mind and expect your life to turn around. That's not how this works. You have to have a good spirit inside you, I believe. But this stuff is real important, this matcha tea, for your stress hormones.
Right. And it's green. It's like you said, it's a strong antioxidant, good for inflammation, which affects all parts of your body. And I think it helps in recovery from, exercise.
Well, if anybody's interested in getting this Magic Mind, who is our sponsor, all you have to do is go online to magicmind.co. That's magicmind.co. And if you put in our code Wingmen, you'll get 40% off your orders. And I think that that's great because this stuff really works. And like I said before, you and I are not going to promote anything that's not good for the public because we don't need to.
Yeah, I feel better about it because we like the Magic Mind, and now the new Magic Mind's even better.
I love it.
I'm making that up. It is.
So magicmind.co and Wingmen for the 40% discount. Just put in that code. All right, Dr. Paul, let's play our little game because this is important. You and I have been married for a pretty long time. I've been married twice for 2 pretty long times. I've been married 23 years and 22 years.
That's a long time.
God bless it. Both my former wife, Lori, and my present wife, Katrina, are really good friends. And it's been just a blessing how this all worked out. It took some time, though. But here's the questions. In the 1900s, the average age for somebody to get married, about 1930, was about 20 years old. In 2021, Dr. Paul, what's the average age for men to be married?
Average 30.
You're a little cheater. 30.4.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I just guessed.
You're so smart. No,
I was
that's
going to
why
say 29. I was actually going to say 29.
No, that's why you're a doctor, because you're that smart. How about women? What's the average age of women getting married now? Because back then it was, I'm sorry, men was 23 and women were 18.
Hey, probably 29. I'll go 29 on that one.
You missed it by 0.4 again. 28.6.
Oh.
Yes. All right, here's a good one. In 1950, about 70% of all Americans were married. The year 2021, what is the percentage of married men?
How about 46%?
52.2. What's the percentage of married women?
45%.
49.9.
Okay, I'm in the zone.
So people are getting married a lot older, and they're not getting married as much. So here's a little cool one. The 3 states that have the most married people are Idaho, Wyoming, and the highest state is Utah. The ones with the least married, I shouldn't say, the lowest is Washington, D.C. with 38%. So Utah is 70% married, and Washington, D.C., because they have free buses now, I guess, are 38%. And just, can I give you a couple other states?
Sure.
Louisiana, 57, Texas, 65, New Mexico, 58, Florida, 60, New York, 60, Minnesota, 64. Anyway, just real quick, Dr. Paul, what is your key to staying married?
I could being flexible. I think being flexible, listening to the other person. Everything can't be just my way or the highway or just one-sided. And admit, sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're wrong. And it's time to move on and not just fight over every little thing. You have to have certain things in common. That helps a lot.
Sure.
In common as opposed to in opposition.
And you got to want to be happy. You have to make an effort. First of all, it takes 2 people to fight.
That's
One
right.
person cannot fight by himself.
That's right. You're right.
And the only way you'll have a fight with your spouse is if you engage. That's number one. Number 2, what I really learned in life later, there's no scoreboard for being right and wrong. Being wrong, actually, my father used to say, the dumber you are, the smarter you become. So every time you're wrong, it's an opportunity to learn something. And I think most of us fight to be right so much. The question truly is, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
That's right. Yeah. Anybody can find a reason to fight over anything.
I want to do a quick wingman today. I had another wingman, but I want to just slip this in. There were 2 people in Barcelona on vacation, walking through the town on a beautiful day, and they walked by a building that was on fire. They go into the building to see what's going on, and they saved maybe 15, 16 infants in that building. They were heroes on vacation, and then they helped the rest of the people out of the building in the fire. And I just think it's magnificent to talk about people who help other people all over the world. And these were Americans, I believe. And this was in Barcelona, wasn't it, Doc?
Yeah. And no, they didn't speak Spanish, as I understand.
No, they didn't speak Spanish. They knew how to say, get the hell out of here.
Right. Yeah, they figured that out. Yeah, the smoke was the key. Yeah, I read about that. That's exceptional. Just a couple just on vacation, walking down the street. Just became
well, we
heroes.
really love highlighting good things because there are good people. Dr. Paul's a great person. I'm okay. But the good outweigh the bad always. And I truly believe good will overcome evil. Dr. Paul, I pray for peace always.
I pray for peace and good health to you and to all of our listeners.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and refer to use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth and goodwill towards all men and women.